You're live.
Hi.
Well, I guess I'll say something. Hi, I'm Janet Lessin. This is another episode of Aquarian Media. Used to be Aquarian Radio, but we went into media because we are doing it all. We're doing slideshows and live people. You can see our faces, all that good stuff. And Karen Christine Patrick is here to do a review of the Flying Saucer Party. And she's going to tell us about it. She made a nice slideshow, and I like her outfit. All right, take it away, Karen.
Yeah, I am in. Can you hear me okay? I'm in official gear for when I go to a conference. I'd like to be comfortable. And I had the VIP pass, which is very cool.
Yes, wonderful.
And then we got a T-shirt in our, see, really nice T-shirt.
Yeah. What's on it? Alien.
It's like the flying saucer. It looks like the Kenneth Arnold ones, right?
Oh yeah, that's cute. That is really cute.
And I met the designer. He was a super nice guy, and it was just lots of hometowny people. It was really a fun event. I have people in my trailer and a dog going back and forth. So if it's bumpy or something,
yeah, we're just going to ignore them for the next half hour.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so this was the fly, and I wanted to recap it because I kind of wanted to tell you what happened at the conference because it's a kind of a really new one to me and probably to most people that might be watching. It's kind of fun because they call it the Flying Saucer Party. So obvious this is not serious disclosure, and did they or didn't they, or and everybody discounting each other and saying they're wrong and they're wrong. This is more lighthearted fair. It was really fun. And it was the 13th and the 14th. And this is my VIP. Oh, did I take my thing?
Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
tell
my VIP review.
What year was it?
Oh,
because somebody did my watches. What's this?
I time traveled back. No. This is
2024 review.
Yeah.
You're watching the show 100 years from now. At these crazy two ladies, it was 2024.
I excavated Chehalis, and no, that's not what happened. It's the town of Chehalis. It's an older town. It's been around a long time. It has a mint factory. And so because of the mint factory, they were deciding what kind of vegetable festival that they wanted to have. So they decided to have a garlic festival during the summer. So, that makes sense. Garlic, mint, kind of goes together. Right. Really, I like their sense of humor about who they are and all. Anyway, part of the reason, and I got Ken Arnold's picture and some people who've been in UFO stuff a while.
Tell me when you want me to advance the slide.
Oh, I'm talking about Ken Arnold right now. Okay, Go ahead and advance it because I think I have him on the next slide. Yeah. Oh, there he is. I like this cover of his book better than the other one. It sort of has some girls with like circles, and it looks really 1940s Germany or something.
Yeah, this did happen in the 40s. Yeah, but yeah.
No. But no, it's just the way the cover looked. I like this better. This is him. Yeah, nice. He was a little interesting tidbit. He was at the time, of course, an experienced pilot, and his job was to sell fire suppression technology to airplanes and airports, and I think that's a super great idea to do. Excellent. So anyway, he was a private. Just the rundown on Kenneth Arnold was he was a pilot back in 1947. This would be prior to Roswell. He pilots, if there was a crash or something, they'd go up, and if they happened to be on that same flight trajectory, they'd look for a downed plane. He was looking for a downed plane. He left, and the reason why Chehalis has the festival here is he left out of the Chehalis airport, and he flew to Yakima, Washington, and he passed over the big mountain we have here, Mount Rainier, and saw 9 well, he's the one that called them flying saucers, and the only reason he didn't really call them flying saucers specifically, he just said they flew like if you had a dish and like a flat dish and you skipped it on the lake. A lot of us did that out here. I was a really good stone skipper. My record is 13 skips, so that's good. Wow, but that was that sort of gliding and then bouncing kind of weird movement, and it's it caught his eye because a couple things. One, there was 9 craft, which was crazy. They were pretty big, good sized. I forgot what he said there, how big they were, but they were going really stinging fast, faster than anything we had at the time. In 47, they were going 1,700 miles an hour, so zipping along pretty good rate.
Yeah, pretty fast.
And and they didn't fly like our types of planes would fly. That an aviator would notice if it's not flying the way that it should. And so he noticed that. He got to Yakima and told what he saw. And this is before the Roswell, where something happened and they squashed it and said it was a balloon, a weather balloon or something. They didn't squash the story. It got sensationalized, and the press really loved that term, flying saucers, because there was a lot happening in 47. One of the speakers showed all the sightings on a map. I hadn't seen that before. And it was a lot. And it was, again, like 2 weeks before Roswell. So that whole year was a big year for our visitors coming here.
Does anybody have any logic for why that may? I mean, because the atomic testing was in 40. I mean, they blew up in 45, right?
Yeah, actually, I have a piece.
Years later.
Yeah, I have, because I lived in New Mexico for a while, went by a rock shop, and I got probably a fake, but hey, I'll go with it as being real. Little piece of green glass from the first testing site where the atomic bomb went off when they were testing with Oppenheimer. Everybody knows that from that movie that came out, right? And it was on my daughter's birthday, so it was July 16th, 1945, and it was so hot it melted the sand underneath it, and it caused this like green glass to form. And I was at a rock shop that sold me a little piece of it. Right. So I don't know. I haven't checked with a Geiger counter or anything. I think it's just a great story. It was an important historical event. In Albuquerque, they also have a museum that you could go to about the atomic age, kind of happening and the implications, which was a serious topic. That is a serious topic.
That is a serious topic. We're going to be like that.
Yes, right. This is a flying saucer party. It's supposed to be a festival, or a festival would have been fun, or conference, which is probably more serious, or symposium, or disclosure. Some of these words we have are kind of heavier, but so this was more like family friendly, trying to be family friendly, trying to include the whole downtown area and various vendors that were, the coffee shops, and there was a kind of a theater downtown, and it was put on by McFiler's, which is a pub, and then they have the concurrent theater, which is very comfy. So, and you could have some food while you're sitting there watching the speakers. It was really fun. Yeah, so here's the book. Here's a link to the book. I've been just stalling for time, so you should read the book. It's very excellent. He just basically became his own researcher right on the spot. So he started interviewing people and talking to people about the various events that were going on. And that's why it's a still very well-known case that happened right here out of Chehalis. So, yeah, next slide.
Okay.
Beautiful downtown Chehalis there.
What's the duck?
Oh, well, I don't know if it's a duck or if it's a crow or what it is, but he's a yard bird. That's what they call him.
Oh,
and there's a famous store area down here called Yardbirds, and it was sort of part store. It was huge, and part like flea market kind of thing. And there were vendors all in there selling anything from books to guns to clothes or whatever. And it recently was resold. But anyway, it's famous in the area. And that little guy, their little
looks like Daffy
avatar. Yeah, it looks a little. But not really. But anyway, yeah. So he's kind of an icon of the area. So they use it for different things. Yeah, it's like our version of Punxsutawneyville. But yeah. So if you look at the left there, this is the downtown. That's the McFiler's Theater, which is basically a movie theater that they've turned into a venue for music and events. And so, but the events are kind of spread out. So like on the right, down the street down there was the coffee shop that had the art show. And I'll talk about a little bit about that. So I'll give you an overview of the whole thing, and mark it on your calendars. It's really fun. So next slide.
One. Okay, next slide. Okay.
Oh, here's our speakers. I can't tell too much of it because I can't show any like of their slides or anything like that, but I can just give you kind of who kind of what these different speakers talked to. We're not familiar with these because I've been in New Mexico longer and knew those people. But anyway, yeah, next slide. Our first slide was Charlton Hall, which I didn't get to see his speech because it was earlier in the morning and we had to drive from quite a ways actually from where we lived to the conference. Right. But I met him later on that day, and this is my favorite phrase of his hopeful skepticism. So it seems like he had another entry into the film festival and he was really recapping kind of what you know about space and where we're going and what would be I I'm guessing about how do we incorporate, in a sense, these things that we learn from UFO stuff into our discussion about space in general and the cosmos and everything. So anyway, he's kind of a cool guy. I'd like to get to know him better and get to know his work a little bit better. But he was there, and the speakers were all extremely excellent. So I hate to say, sure, I hope he's excellent. He was excellent. He's an excellent person. Excellent person. So I'll go with that.
Micro historian.
Oh yeah. This was Steve Edmiston brought up this term. Now he is very interested in the Man in Black story, and the reason why is another sighting very, very, very close to Kenneth Arnold's sighting was something called the Maury Island sighting, and that was the first time that the Men in Black made their appearance and did their typical stop, keep your mouth shut, see, and nothing will happen to you, see, and whatever they warned off one of the guys that was talking about what had happened. And those two events, there's a Maury Island festival type thing. I don't know too much about it. Still learning. And this one, and a lot of the people who work in the conferences in Washington State kind of all know each other and know how the two stories are connected. But he was very excellent. And I learned a lot about that.
Is that where the dog got killed?
Yeah, it was. The story was they took a boat out to do something with this big boat community because we have Puget Sound, which dips into, the third western third of the state, and they were out doing something commercial. It was kind of a commercial scenario, and it was a gentleman who had his boat, and he had his couple of people helping him, deckhands. He had his son with him that day, and they had a little dog, or a medium-sized dog. And all of a sudden, they're doing whatever they're doing, and these donut shaped, which is really odd. Like 6 of them or 5 of them came over them, huge up in the sky. But one of the crafts seemed to be damaged and was spitting out stuff that landed on the boat. And it was kind of like this slag material, so like asphalt. I don't know, but I'm guessing here, but just hot and melty and dangerous, and of course coming out of the sky. So it apparently hit and killed the dog. And damaged the boat, freaked out the guys. There was some other material that was more like foil type material, but it wasn't completely like the Roswell foil. It was a little bit different. And basically the uncovering of the facts of those stories for the Maury Island incident they had difficulty pinning that one down. And it seems like Kenneth Arnold's story is like underneath actually its press. In other words, it's one of the cases back in the day that had a high amount of press, but it just sort of died down, and not all the facts got out at that time. So he did finally write a book, and there's been other researchers about that. But I did like that term, micro historian, and Steve Edmiston was a very excellent speaker.
Wow.
Anyway, next one.
Let me go to the next one. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, hey, this
AI. Who is this guy?
Kevin, could you go back one slide just so I get Connie's last name? Connie Willis. Okay, I just want to make sure because this covers up her name. So then, go ahead.
Okay, thanks.
Go ahead.
Oh, I see. Connie Willis. Kevin
I want to make sure. Kevin Dan, Connie Willis. Yes.
What's to help us with AI? What's that?
Well,
mean?
his main focus was the Tic Tac he was there at the time of the Tic Tac sighting, which has made the news quite a bit.
Recent time, right?
Right. And he was there, and he was a communications guy. And of course, the people who had that experience went through a lot. But his speculation, which I thought was interesting, that's why I mentioned, is maybe the visitors here are here to help us with AI, the next phase of humanity, which is, you know, this new technology that we have that is very threatening. It's very confusing. It's it could be very wonderful. It's hard to say, but it's a big step for humanity to have this kind of technology. So he figured maybe that was why. And he was so human. He was just very human about his emotional feelings about what happened, and how it affected him, and how he really wanted to get across empathy about people who are experiencers. And I was really touched by that. I really was really touched by that. And he lives kind of where I used to live, actually. He's in my old neck of the woods in Oregon. I grew up in Southern Oregon. He lives in that area and came up. And Connie Willis was awesome. And yay, girl speakers, yay.
There's not enough of us. Get out there, Karen. We gotta.
I know. It's okay. Moving on, right? We aren't going back. We're going forward.
What's up to the aliens? What do you mean it's up to the aliens?
Well, she's had a lot of involvement in some of the, she goes on coast to coast and subs for George Norrie and all, and her connection to this world is quite amazing. And she talks a lot more this particular time about her Bigfoot experiences, and really had a amazing story, because that's kind of part of the thing too. You're in the Pacific Northwest. Your Bigfoot people and your UFO people we're all stepping on each other's toes for
what happened with her Bigfoot experience that you remember?
Oh, what I remember was that this thing raked its nails and put a handprint on her window of her camper. So anyway, when she got to the Q&A at the end, and they said, what does she think about the UFOs, and when will disclosure happen, right? This was the theme of the conference. The theme of probably every conference is here, maybe. Right. It's about disclosure. And she said, you're not going to like it. She says, it's up to them. And I thought, yeah, we can try all kinds of, theories down here, but we're not the ones running the show. And I really resonated with what she said about that, because that's kind of my position too, is like, we're already in a process. We've been in a process of disclosure, of them disclosing themselves, but not the way we would think that they would. Like, we would think they would, come down here and especially since there's a lot of involvement with UFOs and nukes. That was they were over nuclear bases. I would have guessed, take the matches away from the kiddies kind of thing, with humans. Like, oh gosh, the kiddies discovered the matches. They can kill their whole planet. This is not good, or something like.
Well, apparently they shut off nukes and reset their trajectory, and all kinds of interesting ETs do this. Yeah.
But, but that's what she said after really giving a good overview of a lot of different factors and stuff. All of them were excellent, and I wish I had more than a little box to review it. And also, if you want to know what they had to say, you got to come be there and hear what they have to say, or go on their websites or whatever. They're just good. It was just
they're already going to do it next year, right? So people.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be the same speakers, but yeah, the conference went well. These are speakers that you can find their information out there. I wish I had it in here now that I think of it. Kind of dashes together, but anyway, this is just a good group of speakers who, if you are an experiencer, that's what I liked. I felt like these people were, experiencer aware, and are having experiences of their own, not really someone to come from on high about, that's one of my gripes with this area, and why I like talking to you is the fact that experiencers, and I want to follow up on this with you soon, is that experiencers are aware of not just the fact that there's something to be known, but the framework of
Mm-hmm.
how it should be known. You have an experience, you go, I wonder what that was about. And it takes you a while to unravel it and double back. And some of these things are time affected. And it's just that thing that sticks in your mind that doesn't fit anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in your normal course. And I think it's instructive. And I think that, in my opinion, and I'll just state it, I've been saying that our path to disclosure, in my opinion, is the experiencer path to disclosure. We need to pay attention to experiencers, but we're not special. We don't need to have it be lifted, vaulted, or anything. What we need to do is pay attention to our experiences, not just if you even saw a UFO, I think you're an experiencer. If you, for some reason, are just totally interested, but you don't think you've had an actual direct experience, you're engaging the topic.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that's a form of experiences as well. And experience is our gateway to this, because otherwise we have the powers that be from on high telling us what it is or whatever. And I haven't really heard anything yet that sounded exactly right. There was always a plot hole in the theory, I don't think any one person's going to get this. This will be something we have to get together. And I also think
thousands and millions of experiencers, and if you start, collecting the stories and having panels, we might that's disclosure. Like, here we go. But we're planning all this stuff, and people are starting to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and also the step we have right now is to just acknowledge that something happened, and to be your own best investigator, be your own best investigator of your own experiences. And then we're supposed to shoot the breeze. We're supposed to sit around the campfire and just talk about it. Because if we don't talk about something, how are we supposed to process it?
Right.
We can't always process something with experts, because at this point right now, the experts, many of them, do not come out as experiencers. I've seen a few come out as experiencers, but most of the time they kind of want to be like observers of the phenomenon, instead of stick their neck out there and say, okay, I'm an observer of this phenomenon, but guess what? A thing happened this one
This
time.
happened, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to the next slide. Let's see what
sure.
you did here. You have 17 of them. All right. What's this?
Oh, we had a film here. Well, I don't. Well, I have an L that fell. Apparently, I was doing my slide.
Oh yeah, it's so Val.
Yeah, that was my fault. That wasn't them. They have a film festival, and it was a real hoot. That was on Friday night, and it was just all kinds of different kinds of people making little movies, anywhere from little stop motion.
Award. They gave that little award there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
They had a little stop motion lady, or they had people acting stuff out, or they had just the variety was amazing. Usually, typically kind of short, and a couple of documentary style things, and they had categories they gave awards in. That little green guy there, I got to name that. They didn't have a name for it, and I was in some of the planning meetings, and I call him Orby. So you can win an Orby at the film festival.
Orby, he's kind of buff. I've never seen him so buff. They've got. He's
got
muscles, and
he's been working out. Then the big prize was the audience voted on, had a category with the audience favorite kind of, and this guy here won that trophy. And see how it's really a trophy made of film canisters with a different
that was a different
alien on top
for the winner of the.
Yes, the winner of the People's Choice Award kind of situation.
That's clever. That's clever. Yeah, and you have to recycle film canisters at the same time.
Isn't that cute? Yeah, it was very cute.
That is cute.
And the amount of effort that people put into their little films was really kind of inspiring. I was very inspired by it was kids that had a couple entries, and who knows, we got maybe our new
good
George Lucas or Steven Spielberg.
I've been going to these things for years, and I've seen a lot of films, and there's some that are really amazing. Some of them are like, but some of them are like, oh my goodness, how did they do that?
Yeah, one really struck me, and I actually voted for it for People's Choice Award, was obviously a real experiencer talking about what happened to him. It was very similar to an experience I had in Salem in 1979. But anyway, which I'm going to do a film and do that next year. I'm in this thing. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to do that because anyway, it's a long story. But anyway, he had a ski mask kind of thing on and glasses, but it was really him trying, like, think it might have a hat on too. And he talked about his experience and did a little bit of animation and stuff. And that struck me as real. That struck me as a real. Some of these are more silly and, just cultural and all that. But this guy had, and so that I voted for him. But this guy, it had the most fun. This guy's who won had the funniest one. Everyone was just cracking up. It was very funny.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to go to the next slide. Here we go. Okay, what's this?
Well, this is Mint City, that's one of the nicknames of Chehalis is Mint City, and that's a coffee shop. And they did an art show, of UFO-based art. And both Brett and I had so bring up the next slide.
Okay.
Let's see. That's Brett. Yeah, this is nice. Yeah, he had what year was that, Brett? He's right here. What year did you have the Benson, Arizona sighting? 2007. He actually, and he's quite the artist, he actually saw a craft like that, and it actually kind of came around, and he was going 70 miles an hour on Highway 10 and in Benson, Arizona, and this thing dropped in front of him and was going 70 miles an hour in front of him, about 10 feet from the front of his van.
Yeah, that always freaks me out when they keep pace with you.
Oh, yeah, right. And then this was it kind of floated over a bunch of buildings, and that's kind of the scene where you can see on the highway the guardrail there and a couple buildings, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's almost like a jellyfish. It had a little something hanging down below it, and then
there's a little thing,
it flew away and connected with a bigger ship, and it was so he's supposed to do that next year for his film. We're going to have 2 films. I'm going to do mine. He's going to do his.
Oh, you'll have to teach me how to do a film. I want to do a film. All right.
Well, you get the AI's got some actually interesting ideas. I've been doing sample video work.
We'll talk about that
AI.
There, but I'd like to. I see all these things that people are doing. It's like, I want to do that too.
New stuff, new tools. Next slide.
Next slide.
Yeah. This one's my entry.
Wonderful.
It's fun, and I decided to have fun. And I've never drawn a cow before, so that's my. I went fun, and I just was thinking of about cow abductions and stuff, and that's the way this festival was.
What does it say?
We had a little. This is moving on up, like moving on up.
That is cute.
Moving on up. Yeah, it looks. What?
That is
so. Anyways,
Karen, I love it.
I just like to have a little fun. That's what I liked about it. It's a little bit serious and a little bit fun, and I think it's good to have some fun with these topics.
Did they give awards at that? Art show?
No, they didn't give awards. It was more of a show rather than like a contest. The styles were so different. I think that was a good thing. I wish I had more pictures of the styles, but I'm not sure about taking close-up pictures of people's art. So I just showed you ours.
Oh, that's great. I love it. Okay.
The whole event was to support the Lewis County Historical Museum. Jason, who was everywhere all at once, he's the executive director, and he took the museum and turned it into he kind of UFO-fied it. He alienated it. So they normally have a sort of an old wig head from back in the 50s lady that they use to do the hat display, but they did fun things like put an alien head on there, and so they had and they had a UFO lamp and stuff like that. But it benefited the historical museum, and I am so proud that they have a museum that takes this seriously, like Roswell does. Roswell has its museum, but I think that's cool that a local town is not embarrassed and very excited about their local UFO history. I think that's great.
I love it. I love that little UFO and the guy. Yeah, that's great. I was in one of those. There's a couple places where I've seen these little museums where they go into ufology, and it's fun when they do that. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of break out a set of displays just for the festival, and then at the end of it, you go back to it being normal. But so Brett was my model here for this stuff, and
he got
this
picture with
yeah. This was Stanberg cutouts for your I want to believe needs there.
Yeah.
Skull and then this is a cardboard cutout of Kenneth Arnold, and the UFO. Someone did an artist rendering for him, and he's pointing to it. And then this guy's fun here in the corner. This dummy. He's usually a telegraph operator, but they dressed him up as a man in black for the festival. And they have a secret file on the desk, and Brett's in heavy discussion with the man in black there. So, that was fun.
Solving that case.
Yes, and then next slide.
Next, okay.
And then Brett defected. Yeah, he said, "Okay, enough of that." We were in the blacklight room. They had a blacklight room. That was
no fun. More photos. This is the last one.
Yeah, it was fun. He got so far, but that was it. And then the next one. The next one is just to prove I was there. And yes, that's proof I was there. And I like that galaxy.
Cosmos emerging out of your head. It's like you're deep in thought.
I'm always deep in thought. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Too much around.
That's fun. Okay.
Oh, now these little displays. They had little cardboard displays that they set out of what's been going on in disclosure, what's been going on. So these are 4 individual panels. It looks a little like it's one panel, but this showed the local crop circles, which I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought that was way cool.
Local crop circles. Wow.
Then they got to the right upper right when they got more into the Kenneth Arnold case, because some people, I kind of knew about it, but a lot of people don't even know about it. It's like that. And then down here, this was disclosure in NASA and the military and there's down there is the Stanton Friedman, if you can see him down there.
I see Stanton.
I remember Stanton Friedman. One of the last interviews that he ever got was I did one a long time ago, and he was such a gentleman, such a very willing to talk to anybody. I love that about Stanton.
Great. Did you capture it on video or audio?
It's on audio, but I've moved so many times I've got to go dig around and see if I can find it. But it was just I don't know where it is, but it was very excellent. But one of my crazy moves. When he was
around, we thought it was like he was going to be there forever. He had been there forever, and then all of a sudden, I think he passed on the way. He was coming home, and he passed at the airport, making his way home. So he it's kind of like he died doing what he loved. He did it till the last second.
We must enjoy our elders while we have them, because they pass the torch,
For sure.
And then
the elders. And there you are.
Yeah. So value us, because we are old. Oh, yeah. Chuck, this would be the current bill. By the way, if you didn't know that, there had been a congressional hearing in Washington, D.C., very bipartisan, which was very surprising and a good thing. Yeah, let's do that, because this is not a partisan issue, really. This is humanity, right?
Yeah.
I had to zoom in on it just to kind of see what was going on there. And it was talking about the most current efforts to, there was a bill, it got scuttled apparently, but anyway, there's some kind of things brewing to where it seems like some of our elected officials might be actually willing to say something, because keeping the secrecy this long is, if in my humble opinion, and I'm nobody, but it is a national security issue, because we're a government of the people, by the people, for the people. We can't do our job as citizens if we are not informed. And this topic is way overdue to where we need to be informed, and also to inform. Once they say, at least, okay, all y'all oxen free, you can talk about it now. That'll be kind of fun. I'll tell you right now, nobody gets to be the star. nobody gets to be the person that knows everything. we have to have a group discussion about all the things that have happened. People have to catch up.
We Are the World of the UFO disclosure. I was just watching We Are the World, and they had a
right.
We had with all these kids. So it was a bought one today with all these kids, and it was amazing. It's like, yeah, if we could have that type of collaboration and synergy, and maybe create a song about it. Where's Michael Jackson when you need him? But I think he wrote that with somebody that's still alive. I forget. I remember the backstory in that. So
that would be somebody. Oh yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, but he did some. They brought some
2 people
audio snippets that he had still.
Right.
Yeah,
so some kind of We Are the World for the disclosure movement, because something to
update
it.
Yeah, we are the Earth, think planetarily.
Yeah, something like that.
Do I have any more slides? Because I don't even know at this point.
That is your last slide.
Oh, it's my last slide. Okay, well, anyway, it was great. Oh no, I have one more slide, I think. Don't I? Did I knock it off there? Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, wait. That's the last one. When is the
next I'm giving it 2 thumbs up of my own thumbs right there. And it's a must see, especially if you're a Washingtonian. And save the date. It'll be September 2025. And it's a good time had by all. So I highly recommend this event, and I'll probably be there. So
great. Yeah.
If all goes well.
The little ones are fun. I go to the big ones, but sometimes the little ones are they're more intimate and more cozy. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much. So what are we going to do next, Karen? Do you have any thoughts on our next show?
Yeah, I brought up this experience, what I call the experiencer path. And it's my personal feeling, and not just my own. I've discussed it with other people, of the fact that it is us talking about our experiences that is the path to disclosure, more than expecting an official body. Like, even if we had our the next president say, hey, it's real or something, half the people wouldn't believe him because we're very divided politically. But right. I think it's time to stop making this a mockery. This is a serious topic that is researched by serious people. It's a national security set of issues. There's all kinds of stuff in the vaults that we have a right to know about, a Freedom of Information Act, within reason, But the thing is I think it's time to make this more than just a cultural guessing game, to really have more to talk about, and the implications, and who knows where that takes us. And it might be a little scary where that takes us, but I don't think so. I'm an optimist. I just think if this has been around, if they were going to quote unquote get us, they would have already done it.
Well, if they've been around, dead, we'd be dead. We wouldn't be here. No, there's something else going on. So let me ask. So we're going to do. I want to do a little bit of my experiences, and then you can do yours, go back and forth. And then we want other people to contact us if they, I would prefer that we do something audiovisual, like they create, a little PowerPoint like this one. It's really,
I'm working on it. Yeah. Actually,
I'm working on mine as well. So we will be back at you, everybody. So
sometime when we get that put together.
Yeah, we're not on a set schedule. We just get it together and go, okay, let's put that out there. But if you're interested in presenting your experiences, and Karen and I can facilitate and put it on a recording and broadcast it out there, contact me. I think right now use Aquarian Radio, AQUARIAN radio @gmail. I haven't created one for media, but aquarianradio@gmail.com. And just tell me who you are, and we'll work with you. But we're just kind of going ad hoc here. When we get it, we broadcast it. So we're open. We were on hiatus. How long was that, from 2019 till now? So we took a long break.
Well, I call what did I do during my COVID vacation? Yes, kind of.
You had,
but
fun.
It was no. It was I had family things to take care of, but I also have welcomed times in my life when I needed to be just introspective and to gather things up and think about them. I've had, because I was a family caregiver for years, I'd get these little pockets of time. This was one of my bigger pockets of time to think about things and integrate them into my own thinking. And that's, I'm ready to be back and discuss it again. Hopefully things are more, I don't know. I'm always hopeful, even when it's dumb.
I'm always hopeful too. Yeah.
Hopefully it's time. It got. There's a lot going on and a lot of things that we as humans needed to go through. I wonder what that means in terms of disclosure. What does it mean when we are sent to our rooms to think about what we did for a while? What did that do? What did that do for us in this topic?
There's power in meditation and reflection. And when I go into that space, I have more contact and downloads and interaction. So contact and withdrawal. So we're out here, we're interacting, and all of a sudden, I think I'm going to go in my room. And it's a good thing. I'm going to go find me and reflect on me and what my life is about and my meaning and purpose and mission. What is my mission on this planet? What am I supposed to do in this short walk on Earth? So well, it's all good. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to our next show, and I can't say when it's going to be, but we can say that the Chehalis Flying Saucer Party will be next September 2025, but we don't have the date yet to save. So we will announce that when it happens. And that's all for today. So we're going to say thanks for coming and say goodbye, Karen. Goodbye, everybody. Aloha.